Newt Gingrich is a former Speaker of the House and Fox News contributor. Do you see what Craig is getting at, Speaker, and do you kind of agree or not?
Well, look, way back in 1973, I said in the Atlanta Constitution that Republicans have to win by at least a 4% margin just to offset Democratic vote stealing. The party of Tammany Hall has always stolen votes. They're very good at stealing votes. And I think we have to start with two different sides. One is Republicans have to get into the game of getting people to vote very early, getting them to go to the polls, but vote by mail, do whatever. But I was very disappointed in the New York special election, where clearly the Republican National Committee's bank the vote effort had failed totally. So if you're not in the game, if you're not even trying, you shouldn't expect to win. But in addition, Scott Rasmussen recently did a report and said that among the top 1%, the people who are the head of NBC News, ABC News, the head of all the bureaucracies, among those folks, 67% said they would be glad to steal an election if that's what it took. Now, that is like, 10 times the national average. So you have to start with the idea that to beat Donald Trump, these folks are going to vote early, they're going to vote often, they're going to cheat, they're going to do everything they can. And Republicans need to understand they need lawyers who are as tough, as ruthless, as aggressive, and they need to get into the fight. And they need to get into the fight certainly by the end of July, because the elections now are so much longer than we're used to, and all too many Republican consultants haven't caught up with reality.
No, well, I mean, it's too late if it's July, Speaker. They should have been after this since the last election on day one. Craig, though, doesn't see it as stealing, Speaker. Craig sees it as adding to the equation.
Why would you ask somebody who is a crook to describe himself as a crook when he can explain he was only borrowing a few things permanently? And I think Craig is a perfect example of that. All I would say, and I thought it was a great segment, by the way, all I would say is everybody who wants an honest election should know that in the long run, we need the French model. Everybody votes on the same day. Everybody has a photo ID. Everybody is accounted as a person. But until we get to that, if Republicans want to win this year, under the rules that exist this year, they need to outvote the Democrats by about 5%, which is a margin big enough that it can't be stolen. They need to have everybody they can get to vote very early so they can focus on the late voters and get them out. And they need to have the largest possible number of volunteers in Philadelphia, in Milwaukee, in Chicago, across the country, trying to stop voter theft. And it'll be a look, this is a real fight.
Yeah.
The Democrats understand
it's going to be a street fight, no doubt about that.
Life and death.
All right, Newt Gingrich saying we need to emulate the French. I never thought I'd hear him say that, but if it works, it works. Speaker, thank you so much.
What can I say?